Hello, welcome back to LIVENODING. In this episode, I want to talk about this add-on called Geometry Script from Carson Catry. So basically, this add-on from the same developer who created Dream Textures. With Geometry Script, the idea is for you to be able to write a script that Blender will understand, and then it creates the node tree based on the script. Of course, you can also do this using Blender Python or BPY, and I think there are a few add-ons out there that can convert a node tree into Python. However, the Python itself, if you're using Python to generate the node tree, it can be a little bit confusing in a way, but with Geometry Script, this could be made a little bit easier to understand. So yeah, I just gonna give it an example, but before I started, I want to show you this Chat GPT. If you actually, okay, this is an AI that helps you to kind of give you an ideas or problem solutions. I think in the future, if I wish to be able to talk to AI to be able to create like a geometry script to generate geometry nodes. I don't know why, but I think this is gonna be the future. For example, if I ask the AI using Blender Python, give me a script that generate that displays a mesh using noise texture, right? So the AI is able to give me a BPY, Blender Python, that's generating, basically this generated materials, I believe that's can displays a mesh using noise texture. Okay, I can actually run this inside Blender if we are using a BPY, I believe. So text editor, script, just paste it there, create. Oh, material has no attribute texture slot. Maybe I need to create a material and have like a texture slot, but yeah, but that's the idea anyway. So with the geometry script, we should be able to do that. I'm hoping we should be able to do that in the future with AI model that understand script node. At least that's the idea. Yeah. Anyway, you first of all, you download the script. You can purchase it if you want to support Carson Catry. You can purchase it for $10, or you can actually download the free version of this geometry script. So it is made open source as well. You can actually help to improve. You can test the add-on and improve the add-on. Yeah, the way it works, if you install the add-on already, so geometry script is already installed. The one I have is version 0.1.2. You can use external editing to help the editing faster, but if you are really new, I'm just gonna show you very quickly what this does. I'm still really new with this add-on as well, with geometry script, so please keep this in mind. I'm not a programmer either, but I found this really intriguing. So I'm creating a text here. I will write something, right? Like I want to load the script nodes. So from geometry script, import all with asterisk. This is gonna be too small on the screen, so I will increase the font size, and I will save this as GS geometry script demo 001. From geometry script, import something, and this is the node tree that's currently assigned into this cube. Okay, what happened if I want to create like a sphere or like an icosphere, and I want to connect this there. This is just a super basic example. Now the cube become the icosphere because this node is passing the mesh data into the geometry. What if I want to do this inside geometry script? Okay, the way we do it is we target the tree, and if I call this one blah, for example, it's a very bad name, but it's gonna work. I'm targeting a node tree named blah, do something. The way it works, let's say we call this an icosphere, and we want to return, or just make or change me or something. This is the name of a function that will the geometry script will understand and will modify this guy over here. Okay, hopefully this works. Anyway, I can actually create an icosphere this way with the subdivision of 2, for example, and I can also make maybe a sphere or a cube and a sphere. I want to make a nodes like this inside the geometry nodes using geometry script. So cube, UV, sphere. This is how this actually works, and we need to return something at the end. Let's try to run this anyway. Okay, it's giving an error. Why? Because we need to return something. I'm just gonna return set shades smooth. You know this node, set shade smooth, and we just gonna specify mesh equal geometry. Still giving an error. Maybe I need to also specify this input. Integer object has no attribute sockets. Maybe this is not a good example to start with. It's a little bit confusing, but I want to be able to output one of these. I want to return something, so maybe remove this for now. I'm just gonna return an icosphere. Right, this one is actually giving a result. Okay. Let's say I want to change this icosphere radius into 2 and subdivide just radius to 2 first. Okay, it's giving me the radius of 2, and I can also specify subdivisions equal 3. Okay, this time it works. Okay, this is as basic as it could be. Like you define you are targeting a node tree named blah, and we are creating of these functions that will modify whatever inside this blah. So we can return an icosphere, or if I comment this out, I can also return, for example, return UV sphere. Probably it's better we specify mesh equal geometry or something. Yeah, okay, we probably don't need to say that, but we can say segments equal 12, rings equal 4. Run this again. You can see it's pretty interactive. So you can, yeah, let's say for example, you're outdoor and you want to write script. Of course you can do this very quickly. I mean, if you're in front of Blender, you can, you can create the nodes manually, and then you know, make connections, etc. But if you are outdoor, you want to type this inside your head on your iPhone or iPad, for example, using script node, this is now possible. Okay, the second example, actually, if you want to, for example, create a torus or a donut, we don't have primitive donuts here, but the way we usually work, right, to create a donuts, create curve circle, create two curve circle, and then use curve to mesh, and then we plug this in, and the output goes into the group output. Okay, this will create a torus or a donut. Yeah, it's super basic example, but if you want to script this, you can do it. It's not as scary as you might think. So you don't actually need to see my example, but you can try to create yourself the script. But I will give you example. If you feel challenged, don't follow this video. Try to make this yourself first. Okay, the way I will do it. I will actually put a set shade smooth at the end. Okay, this slightly geometry equal geometry. Okay, what's happening here? So I just turn a default cube into this smooth geometry, but I want to create a circle. Okay, remember, I lost my circle. Oh, curved circle. Okay, let me show you. If we do it this way, we create two curved circle anyway, and we want to create curve to mesh. So curve to mesh. So geometry script understands all these functions. This function will actually generate nodes without connecting them. Okay, you can see curve to mesh, curve circle, curve circle. Okay, we want to connect these guys using script node. The easiest to do this, for example, this is just an example. I put them into a variable, and the output of this variable needs to connect to this curve to mesh, needs to connect to this guy, right? We need to connect this into curve and profile curve. So this is how we probably do it. Okay, right, shade smooth and geometry. So we still have these connections. This guy is still not connected, but if we connect this guy to that guy, we get a donut. So we need to connect the output of this guy, curve to mesh. I just put it into a variable, and then this variable I'm just gonna attach it into shade smooth. So the last return needs to return the last functions. Now we actually get the donuts now. No matter what I do, if I run this script node, it's gonna create me a donut. Let's change this radius to 0.2 or 0.4. This resolution equal 4. Okay, we get that. Maybe this resolution equal 4 and radius and resolution is 12. See, we get something completely different. So you can see what's going on. Every time I make changes to the script node, the node tree will rebuild itself and give us a return. It's gonna return us a connection node tree that's still live, and you can get a result based on that. It's gonna make connection for you. If at some point you want to actually pipe out some variables, you can do that. Could be slightly, let me just create an example. I think, let's say you want to say res equal of type data integer, and then radius of type float. Okay, you see what's happening? There's this guy happening. Let's just type resolution, and this one is radius. This is for the donut, right? So we can say let's make this smaller. Resolution B, radius B. Run this. Now inside, for the group input, we have resolution A, radius A. And anyway, this one can connect to that guy. We can actually specify the original or the default value. So now it has all the value. And finally, we can actually connect this. We can connect this into this guy. Okay. And the way we connect it, okay, if we run this again, it will be disconnecting once again. The way we connect this is to specify it over here. Because we created all the variables, we can of course connect it. So resolution A, this is gonna be radius A, it's gonna be radius B. This is just a super basic example, but should give you an idea. Now, actually, I'm assigning the variable into each of the parameter. Now it's connected properly. Okay, and we just create a donut that we can modify. Okay, so it's creating a torus. But of course, we can create other things. For example, from Carson's example, if we create from scratch, this is a cube, and under text editor we can copy and paste the script, repeat grid, and we're gonna target repeat grid. Okay, repeat grid. Run this. Now, as a result, where's our cube? Oh, it disappeared because we need to specify a value here. So our cube is repeated as a grid. let's try to understand what's going on. So again, targeting a node 3 name repeat grid using geometry script, we create a this is like an input, like a functions that modify the node 3. So this is the functions with the width set to integer and the height integer, and we create a like a variable that generate a grid, and this grid is connected into our custom attributes here, and then pass these functions into the next one, which is match to points, and then just put it into variable name g, and then as the output we're gonna use instance on points, where the instance is gonna be the original geometry, and the output being returned is gonna be connected into the return value added into the result. Okay, that's the example from Carson. You might actually occasionally, if you're live on the Twitter often, or Discord or Blender forum, people share blend files, right? But blend files, okay, blend files usually already have these nodes. Normally, okay, this is an example from Celestial Maze, one of the Blender node guru out there that's sharing node 3 like this. This is a screenshot of a node 3. If you wish at some point to turn this into a script, maybe you can use AI. That's what I think. The AI might generate the geometry script for you and then create this for you. Of course, sometimes the artist also share the blend. Usually the artist doesn't always share the blend. He or she wants you to create the node 3 yourself. Maybe you can do it manually, but if you type it, it could be faster. Okay, for example, in a case like, I have to show one more demo. In a case like switching geometry, for example. Okay, this script generate a cone UV sphere that's being switched. It's super basic. As a result, we also have toggle, which is a boolean. Okay, create a function blah, which modify this node 3 blah, return a switch function that switch between geometry of UV sphere and a cone. This is just a basic example, but imagine if you actually have something like this, and then you have another switch, and you're gonna put this on there, and then you also want to have like super complicated switch system. For example, you need to have a script node. I have a few more example. Extrude smaller, this one I think it's kind of interesting. Yeah, okay, look at this. This one is super basic. It's basically doing this extrude and scale multiple times. Okay, I created this very quickly and easily using script node. Originally, before I have all this complexity, I just have something like this, right? It's really basic. It's just like, at first I create a UV sphere with a segment of 12 rings 12. I can actually modify this there, and then I use merge by distance. Actually, I don't have merge by distance either at first. I just have UV sphere, and yeah, super basic. If at some point I get creative and then I just put a merge by distance, and I just want to merge some points closer, so I have something that's a little bit more interesting in terms of topology, I can do it this way. So it's adding merge by distance between UV sphere and whatever that comes after, which is just extrude mesh, extrude mesh with random value, and then scale the elements of top selections. You see it's actually specified here. If I want to do that multiple times, okay, now I can actually do this, which is pretty crazy. That it's a very basic example, but you can see this makes the works a lot faster, right? It's adding this extrude mesh, random. I do this more quite often in the past. I have to do it manually, but with the script node, it's easy. So for each iterations, for example, you want to make the value smaller. Look, it's kind of working. Random value extrude. Yes, this is how we do it. There we go. I can save this. It's new blend. So this is just some of examples that you can create using geometry nodes. Maybe tomorrow I will talk more about this if you want to. But yeah, basically, yeah, it's a very interesting way you can, because if in the future we're gonna have like AI to help us, you know, like this, something like this, an example. Using Voronoi, for example, okay, using Blender Python, give me a shade script that create material shader that displays a mesh using Voronoi texture. The AI should understand the text. Okay, so create a Voronoi texture and then displacement, and then yeah, maybe connect it or something. Yeah, this one. If we want the AI to help us, it needs to understand text or like the script. Hopefully we have like a script that's simple enough to understand by looking at it, you know. Okay, create a UV sphere, merge by distance, merge the vertices, and then extrude it. Oh, okay, extrude it 3 times, and then boom, it creates for us the result. Oh, where is it? View. Oh, we need to select. Yeah, it creates the nodes for us. Everything is clear. The nodes is very visual. Yeah, maybe the next extrusion. Maybe the extrusion in first one individual, second one not individual. Yeah, on and off. You can actually specify it here. Okay, so yeah, that's basically what I've been going through for the last few days. Script nodes very useful. I used it for a few days. Like I said, I'm not a Python programmer, but this actually pushed me a little bit because it's interesting that you can create nodes using text. This is something that you can type on your iPhone or iPad while outdoor, and you just run this, and then it's gonna create the nodes, and then you can further work and tweak the nodes, right? Pretty handy. All right, so thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.